Hello. Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to be started yet. Oh well, too bad I did it. Too bad. Hello. Hope you guys are doing good. Good evening. Is it really evening? If it's 11:59, I mean, I don't know. It could be good night. On the flip side of that, good night feels like a goodbye phrase. But hello. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you've had a good Sunday. Or start to your Monday, depending where you are, I suppose. I have been big chillin' today. What have I been up to today? Fair bit of gaming on my end. I played quite a bit of Rocket League. Did some more rank climbing. I'm up to Champ 3 Division 3. Grand Champion, a lot more doable than I would have thought. I feel like I can get Grand Champ. I had a walk, which was nice. Just finished washing some stuff. I do have my blush toggle on right now. I don't know, I'm just cozy. I felt like using it. Yeah, I've just been kind of taking a bit of an easy night. Was chilling with some YouTube. I just finished watching what was it called? I just finished watching Suisse's 8-year anniversary live, which was very stellar, no pun intended. Absolutely amazing. Suisse is so goated. I really liked seeing an acoustic live. It was really cool seeing like the live band playing. They got Taku Inoue there. Taku Inoue is like so much more like quiet than I expected for some reason. But or I mean maybe it's just the kind of like business setting, because I feel like anytime I ever see some like Japanese guy be invited as a guest onto anything, you just kind of see that like oyashimasu, like, you know, it's like very very like formal kind of vibe, I feel like. But the performance was great. I loved Stellar. It sounded like a fresh spin on the first take version, which is one of my favorite music performances ever. It was so good. And I also thought that the arrange of Soiree was really cool. I thought that was really, really sick. There was I mean, everything was good. Of course it was. I mean, it's Suisse, right? I'm kind of sad they didn't play Suisse, like the one by Tsuki and Suisse. I feel like that would have sounded really cool for like a full band arrange, but the set list was great. The performance was great. I was very happy. Sold like $110. That's a lot of money worth of Pokemon cards. Did you just happen to have them from when you were a kid, or did you have a stint where you were like specifically like buying certain cards or opening packs as like a hobby or something? I think I have a lot of old cards, but I don't think they'd actually be worth much of anything, to be honest. I don't feel like they're old enough to be really valuable just on the fact of being old. And I also don't think that there's anything that like rare or crazy. I don't think I had that many like EX cards or anything. I'd have to look. It's been so many years since I've looked at my Pokemon cards, but Suisei's live was really cool. I also think it's very interesting to see, for anybody who didn't see that live, highly recommend you check it out later. It was great. But also, it came with an announcement that basically Suisei is like still under Hololive, but also under her own agency called like Studio Stellar, which I guess is probably going to be more of like the Suisei specific managerial stuff, sort of like scaling up her music and whatnot. I think it's really interesting because I don't know if anything like that has really happened in the VTuber sphere before, where they're like under their OG company but also further along. And it's kind of funny that it would be Suisei, given I think she's also like the only person I can think of who's like got their OG IP into like a corpo that doesn't normally do that too. Very fascinating stuff. Big day for the unemployed, as they say. That was cool. It was nice to watch a VTuber live. It's been a while since I've actually watched a VTuber live, I feel like. I'm trying to remember what the last one was for me. I think it might have been one of Toa's lives, maybe. But it's been a minute. I saw Suisei put out a new song too. I feel like it's just been a while since I've listened to her music in general, so it was really nice. It was really great. There's like so much good music listening to be done nowadays. I know there's a Natori album that I still need to listen to that I haven't listened to yet. That's pretty exciting. There's what else? Completely not related to like VTubers or J-pop at all, but one of my friends showed me a band I'd never heard of before called Your Neighbors, and I was really rocking with their music as well. It was kind of, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of Good Kid. It was like some ambient stuff, or not ambient, sorry, it was like indie rock stuff, but it was a bit more ambient than Good Kid, I feel like. It was a cool sound. I only listened to a few songs, but I was really enjoying it, so I gotta check out some more of that later as well. It's just fun to indulge good music, you know? It's just a good time. I feel like I haven't been as like musically expressive lately as I sometimes like to be. And it's nice to at least like absorb some music, get the kind of feeling back into my mind, if that makes sense. Because I do feel like a lot of the time you do tend to kind of sponge whatever stuff you're putting in. And I do find that a lot of the time I tend to be more musical when I'm like watching a lot of music related stuff. Oh my god. So it's just, but yeah, on the other hand of that statement, would you believe if I said that I've still been watching a lot of Pokemon stuff recently? I had a crazy moment earlier today. I clicked into whatever regional championship was happening this weekend. I can't remember, but there's one of the Pokemon regionals that was on this weekend. I clicked in as the Masters Finals was starting, and I saw that somebody made it into the finals with Kanto Ninetales, like the OG fire type Ninetales. I couldn't believe it. And it was so tragic. I mean, this is a spoiler that probably nobody ever would care about, but literally game 3 of the finals, the guy with the Ninetales, his name is Carson Confer, very, very good player, makes a super hard prediction of his opponents. Basically, there's an Indeedee that has follow me to redirect attacks. And he's staring down an Iron Crown, which is steel and psychic type. So he's got his Fluttermane out with the Ninetales as well, pressuring like Shadow Ball, but of course Indeedee is normal type, so you'd have to be crazy to risk clicking Shadow Ball into follow me on a normal type, especially because it's choice specs, so you cannot change. You have to pick one attack with Fluttermane and stick to that, right? So normally the play you would make is Dazzling Gleam and Heat Wave, and that way, if they use the Water Terastallization on the Iron Crown, then Dazzling Gleam will hit neutrally, or if they don't, then the Heat Wave will be super effective. That's the idea. Or at least that's one of the like safer ways you can do it. But instead he goes Terra Fairy and Moonblast into the Iron Crown to just try and kill it immediately. Gets the call right. There's no follow me on the Terra Water as well, so the Fairy move is not resisted anymore. So he clicked Moonblast into a not very effective target with redirection on the field. Gets it right. Comes like just shy, like probably 10 HP away from killing it. And then misses Heat Wave on the Iron Crown and goes on to very slowly lose the game as a result of the 10% miss. It was so sad. He had a couple chances to claw it back, but didn't get lucky. It was really interesting, honestly. I'm trying to think if Kanto Ninetales has ever won a tournament before. My gut is no, like, or at least if it has, probably not for a very long time, and certainly not in a format where the power level was nearly as high as it is in the current format. That caught me extremely off guard to see. It was very cool. Shame it didn't win in the end, but it was a good try. Here on bites. That does a lot, wow. Oh, it doesn't kill. I'm dead. Yep, okay, that's fine. This run wasn't that good anyway. It was kind of fun to watch a little bit of competitive again today. I like to pop in and look at the regional streams every once in a while. I don't follow it too closely, but it can be very fun. Some of the commentators are really good, which is something that I think you take for granted if you're into like really big esports. But when you're into more niche stuff, having a couple really good commentators in your scene that just kind of like carry the weight of that community is really, really wonderful, honestly. I think it's such a great service to an esport, to have people who are really good at commentating. I've never really gotten any like significant gigs, but I've learned to commentate a few games, and it would be really cool to commentate a tournament someday. Even if it's just like something a little bit smaller. You know, I almost had the opportunity last year because I was supposed to take up the reins of V3S, which was the Splatoon tournament that I won, that Rita hosted a while back, if any of you guys would remember that. That was in 2024, I guess. I was supposed to take up the reins for that. Unfortunately, didn't get enough signups to run the event. last year, so we ended up having to cancel it, which sucked. Mostly because I felt bad. I know that I think Rita was planning to like play in it, and it never came through. But I would really love to host something one day. I think the difficult part about hosting like just more like generic VTuber tournaments is getting the publicity on it. For what it's worth, I think a lot of it was like, I'm not that great at Twitter, and I feel like Twitter, if there is a social media platform that is perfect for like hosting an event and seeing if it just randomly gains like insane traction and blows up, Twitter is like your platform for that, you know what I mean? You make some sort of tweet that goes mega viral, it becomes a big thing, you manage to snowball that into a really sick event. I feel like I've seen that happen a lot of times. I just never really figured out Twitter, honestly. I have a hard time understanding it. I would really like to, maybe because I feel like hosting events is a little bit stressful. You know, I think trying to find people is not my strongest suit. I really enjoy the more like administrative side of event planning. You know, like sort of managing like a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. Maybe in terms of gaming, like refereeing, commentary, stuff like that is a little bit more up my alley. Or in games where there's kind of like strategic planning, like if there's map pooling, like I like doing that in Osu a lot, or you know, map pooling. I had a lot of fun theorizing what like maps and game modes we were going to showcase for the Splatoon tournament last year, even though obviously it never happened. I think stuff like that is a really fun aspect. Whoa. Should kill. Really fun aspect of event planning that I just can really get down with. So maybe if I end up having friends hosting something cool in the future and they need a guy, I could be that guy. Is what I hope anyway. Because truthfully, I feel like even when it comes to like not big events, just like random stuff, I love being a part of my friends' events. Like, I'll always record like a little performance if somebody's doing a concert, or join some like random game collab, game tournament, whatever. It's like super up my alley to do stuff like that. Dragon Dance, yikes. Egg Bomb? Wow, that almost kills. Oh, because Egg Bomb is normal, right? I was thinking it was grass for some reason. Nope. We lived that though. No harm, no foul. That's not where I meant to go. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in anything more like competitive, I guess. The most competitive I've been recently is playing ranked on Rocket League again, which, for what it's worth, is not very competitive, I have to say. Like, I don't know. I'm just playing games to play games, right? Ooh, Weedle. Sick. At the end of the day, I'm not really, like, that invested. I think it'd be cool if I got back to Grand Champion. I also don't, like, super care. Timid. Interesting. That's kind of bad. Well, minus attack is bad anyway. I might have to use a lot of heart scales to fix that in the future. However, I mean, a Beedrill's a Beedrill. You can gladly invest 3 heart scales in a Beedrill. You can arguably invest more than that, just because this guy can go to the Elite Four anyway. What all do I want in my party? I guess Fletchling is the weakest link right now. You say to people who say all VTubers are weird, that feels like a very random question to be asking, but I don't know, who cares? Everybody's weird. I think that you shouldn't worry about people who generalize something and just call like a whole subculture of stuff weird. Like, if you put weight on the opinions of people who think like that, on the whole, you will find that you're just gonna be a lot more critical. Your mind's gonna be a lot less, like, happy. I don't know. Because the mind is so malleable, right? It's very... Your brain is like a sponge. And so, if you're surrounded by people, could be friends, could be family, could be colleagues. If you got people in your life who are kind of... They make you feel a little bit nervous. Maybe there's a certain hobby you have that they think is kind of weird or bad in some way. Like, it makes you not as likable as you would be without that hobby, for example. Or on the flip side, if you don't know, but just the way that, like, they have a kind of judgmental aura about them, you wonder if they think you're weird, if they think you're uncool, whatever. Those kind of insecurities will keep you from being able to just enjoy stuff and, like, be present, right? That's the kind of stuff that keeps you in your own mind. So I think try not to worry about stuff like that. And if you have people that make it difficult for you to not care, then try to set up social environments where you can have a support network of people that either share that interest or just truthfully they don't care. There's no sort of like song and dance of like, oh, well, what happens if they find out that I like XYZ? Like, are they gonna hate me? Like, you know, if you can find a social network of people where you don't have that problem, it's just a lot more fun. Just describing my life. Well, I mean, I understand, right? Like, my old friend group in a lot of ways was fairly toxic, if I'm being honest. We kind of would all just pick like a couple games that we would all grind very competitively and try to get really good at. And the kind of culture of that group, in a lot of ways, was like, you would make fun of whoever was like not doing well. You would always take like an easy joke at your friend's expense if it makes the rest of the group laugh, right? It was very normalized to do that kind of stuff. And as a result, like, I felt very reserved about stuff for a long time, and it affects things a lot too. Like, I pretty much completely cut off that friend group when I went to become a VTuber, and then I re-engaged with them afterwards, because when that's like your whole social network, right? When you have no sort of safety net to fall back on, it's very easy to think that these boundaries would be helpful, but not enforce them though, right? Because if I have one friend group of like 4 people that are low-key judging me about the stuff that I am passionate about, and so I think to myself, like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do here is, like, tell them, you know, if you can't accept me being into this thing, then I'm just not gonna be friends with you anymore. And then they make a joke about it because it's an easy joke to make. Now I have no friends, and that sucks, obviously. So if you can put a little bit of space, find some like-minded people first, then it can be a little bit easier to take the leap of faith, right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, if they are chill with it, actually, and you're just, like, overthinking it, then everything will be fine. And now you've just got 2 friend groups, and one of them shares that kind of like-mindedness. And if your old friend group still thinks that it's cheesy, or that they wish you would go back to how you used to be when you were kind of masking your interests or whatever, you have another sort of outlet, you have another place you can go, and you're not just kind of now all alone in the world thinking, like, you know, that if you hadn't done anything stupid, you would still have a support network or whatever. Because in a lot of ways, it's a sunk cost fallacy, right? I think you can get this a lot with, like, your old friend group from school, for example, can be an easy one to slip into stuff like this. Old coworkers or current coworkers. I would say, like, relationships that are very circumstantial, right? Like, me and these people meet in X place, and that's our environment, right? And depending on your interests, you might have a hard time meeting people that you can meet regularly in you know, IRL, that share your like-minded attitude, right? Part of the reason I'm so terminally online is because a lot of my interests are very uncommon, and you know, I didn't find people like that when I went to school. I didn't find people like that when I was at work. I found people who were very chill at the end of the day. Some of them, anyway. I found people who can appreciate, like, my creativity or my sort of, like, interest in a lot of just different things. My, like, more introspective kind of attitude towards life. I found people like that. And sometimes you'll find weird connections that you wouldn't expect. Like, I remember I told a couple of my old coworkers back before I left my retail job that I was working there so I could save up to become a VTuber, and then I was going to go do it. And I found out that one of my old coworkers used to be a VTuber. They quit, but they were a VTuber before they were working retail, and they were studying to go to school for some other stuff. Unfortunately, I never did find out what their channel was. I never did get to know. I always, to this day, I still wonder. But you'll be surprised, right? But the thing is, there's not usually, like, an easy option to go and find people who will share your interests. You know, maybe if you're really into VTubers, you can go to a VTuber convention or just an anime convention. You're gonna have a decent chance you find somebody, right? But, you know, it can be a lot of different things. One of my friends that I grew up with from school, he plays tennis and he coaches tennis. And I've never played tennis, but I like badminton. And he's got the familiarity with racket sports from tennis. Sometimes we just meet up, we play some badminton, we eat some food. And, you know, even though we might not have a lot of the same hobbies anymore, we're both just chill. We've got the history, we've got a little activity we can go out and do. The other week, you know, we went to a random bar and just played 8-ball for 2 hours while drinking tea. I've never played 8-ball before. I don't even particularly love tea, but I mean, I really enjoyed the experience, right? Having people that are not judgmental, I think, is the most important thing. You gotta find a couple people that you just vibe with, like spiritually. Don't even worry about if your hobbies are that similar. Have some hobby in common, have some like mindset in common, just be open-minded. And if you can do that, get a couple people in your corner like that, suddenly you have a lot more leverage in those like difficult friendships or family relationships than you might think you do. Because you're only as reliant as you make yourself at the end of the day, right? If you don't give yourself any other escape from these relationships, if you put all your eggs into this basket, then yes, they can kind of hold it over your head and make you feel a certain type of way for having different hobbies or, you know, for being interested in things that are unconventional. But if you can be your own person and have your own different like facets of yourself, then suddenly you have the leverage to walk, and that changes a lot in those kind of relationships. So if you're struggling with dealing with people who are maybe not as open-minded about what kind of direction you want to take your life, the most important thing is just quietly make the first couple steps and see if you can make a friend or two along the way, and it'll really give you more freedom than you think it will. But yeah, no, I love to talk about stuff like that. So thank you for being vulnerable. You know what? I appreciate that. I hope that whatever you're going through gets better. You know, I feel like I've been often sort of delegated as the therapist friend of most of my friend groups over the years, which honestly I love, because I don't know. I'm a very introspective person naturally, right? I think I have, this is a bit of a crude way to put it, but I have a lot of problems. So like, I think I've probably ruminated about a lot of stuff more than most people have. And I like to just try to see if I can get people to reframe their thinking, I think is the biggest thing. I've been in therapy before, and I think that therapy is never really quite the band-aid that you want it to be. Truthfully. I mean, it'll depend, right? It'll be different for everybody. I also think in my case, I was a bit unlucky. The first time that I ever really needed therapy, I got put on a wait list for like almost a year. Basically, I just had really, really bad anxiety for, I don't know if I've ever said this on stream. I think I have before, but I have generalized anxiety disorder. I get very anxious sometimes. It used to be worse. And I ended up having to leave the school system for a while as a result of my condition, right? And I remember I got put on a waiting list for almost a full year to get into like a government-funded therapy program that could try and help me out with my situation. And truthfully, right, by the time that the help was available to me, I had already like figured it out in my head. Like I no longer really had the need for that therapy. And so I ended up having a couple sessions and I just kind of got out of it. But I also think that therapy, in a lot of ways, is only as good as its frequency or the habits you build around it. Because at the end of the day, what therapy really is, right? You're like kind of, if you have repressed feelings or thoughts, then you kind of can use therapy as a way to bring them up, get to the root of them a little bit, get a good feel for what kind of issues you might be dealing with that you didn't even realize, right? They can help you kind of diagnose maybe the stem of some of your issues if you're lacking that insight. But once you kind of have a good eye for like where stuff's coming from, a lot of it is either just changing your circumstances so that whatever is distressing you to a point where you're going to therapy over it, that it's just not a thing anymore, right? So like, you know, this is not an option for everybody, but I was having a lot of trouble being in school, so for the most part, I just stopped, you know, orienting my life around being a student because it wasn't really working out for me, right? And it can be the same way, like if you have a bad home life, well, you might not have the option immediately, but the best way that you could solve that is don't live there anymore, right? Because your options are going to be limited, right? And so a lot of what therapy really is for the stuff that maybe you can't fully change. It's like, how can I manage this thing, right? You know, maybe I have some gripes with my parents or my teachers, the people that I go to school with, the studying aspect of school. Maybe this job is difficult, and you know, there's all sorts of things that you could have a problem with. My friend is giving me a hard time, whatever. But if you're not willing to compromise on it, it's like, how can I reframe my energy, like my efforts mentally, to make it a more tolerable circumstance? What can I control, right? That's the ultimate thing, right? With therapy. And so when it comes to keeping your mind framed in a like cognitively flexible way, which is kind of the point of therapy, is if you have problems, is to just find a better way to think about them so that you're feeling better about it. Maybe you can focus more on solutions if your emotions aren't blocking your, or like incapacitating your like reasoning, right? When it comes to dealing with a lot of stuff like that, a lot of the crux of the issue can be, if you stay out of therapy, that kind of method of thinking can get rusty unless you happen to have like friendships that make you think and like talk in that way. Or, you know, you have like, maybe you journal, right? That's another thing that you could do. There's all sorts of stuff, right? But I think that one of the reasons I love being the therapist friend is both because I love to ground my friends. You know, I've been through a lot. I want to make sure that they are, as much as they can be, feeling calm, feeling rational, feeling optimistic, because there's always some sort of optimism. There's always a silver lining in life, I think. But also because it keeps my brain sharp through all of the stuff that I'm dealing with. Maybe one day we gotta have like a Twi advice stream. Thoughts. I mean, obviously I'm not a therapist. I'm not somebody who has any real sort of qualification to be in an advisory position, but I do feel like having like a little advice column stream could be kind of funny. It could be interesting, perhaps. I don't know, it's something I've thought about doing before, at least. Oh my god, wait! Nahi sent me a picture. She got a Corviknight plushie. Woo, so cute. Oh my, the caption, I got a son. That's so cute. Oh my god, wait, Sheen posted a... Oh, did he finish this already? Dude, he locked in. I know he wanted to do... There's like a Osu spring art competition. And I was telling him, like, bro, you gotta enter that. And he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish anything in time. He did. Look, he made a little thing. The, like, premise of this is that it's for the, like, the home page of Osu if you get it. So there will be, like, the big Osu circle in the middle. So you gotta, like, frame your composition to have, like, the left and right kind of sides, right? That's so pretty. Wait, look, he learned to draw flowers. Look at all the sunflowers. Oh my god. I love my friends doing cool stuff. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby. I also should show Nahi's son. Just because. Why not? Actually, wait. Can I show this? I don't see why not. Look at the boy. Look at the boy. He looks so... He's so big, dude. That's so fire. W son. Thank you, Nahi. Hi. Never been vulnerable with a streamer? If I have, they never responded like that. Yeah, I'm glad that you feel maybe a little bit better, a little bit more grounded. Look at all this optimism. Rarely seen optimism in a Pokemon Run and Bun stream. Normally, instead, you have me malding about being unlucky. But today you get the good ending. Let me see. What am I even doing for lead here? Maybe this? Caught lurking. That's okay. Hi. Look, it's a late night stream. I expect most people at this hour to be lurking. I love your son. He's so adorable. He's so giant. Dude, your son is massive. Not that big. He's just kind of round. That is the perfect shape for a son to be. Damn, that's really tough. I hit myself in confusion. Why? Why are we doing that? Stop. I gotta be careful because this thing does have pursuit. This thing be hitting, bro. Damn. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm definitely dead to another one of those. Go here. Okay, Pomelo, get him. There we go. Alright. He's huge spiritually, 100%. I don't... Corviknight just has a very large presence, I feel like, as a Pokemon. But in a very friendly way, though, you know what I mean? Like a gentle giant, a little bit. I really like Corviknight. I think he might be my favorite bird from Pokemon. I don't know, there's so many good bird Pokemon, though. Like, you would think that the Route 1 birds would just kind of start being bad because they already were generic, but at least they were like iconic generic back in the day. But I feel like they just got a lot more creative with it in the last few years, you know what I mean? Like, I think the only true unmemorable stinker bird Pokemon they've made in recent... this is not recent, but I'm thinking like Unpheasant from Gen 5. That was... Nobody cares about Unpheasant, right? But, like, Talonflame was sick. Rowlet's great. I agree with that. Toucanon, I actually really like Toucanon. One of my favorite birds. He's trash, but I do love him. Corviknight's goated. Kilowattrel's pretty cool out of the new games. Like, I feel like they've been creative with a lot of the birds. And of course, in the next games, Brout. Angry Rowlet, we got Brout. Looks very cute. Oh my god. If I ever find myself in a position where I can actually afford the damn Switch 2 and pick myself up Winds and Waves, right? I truthfully don't know how I'm gonna choose what starter to play. Like, they're all so cute, bro. They're so good. They're so cute. Like, how can you choose? You have, like, the most adorable, like, grumpy, ugly-ass bird of it, all time ever. Then you also have, like, really cute dog. And then, like, really slay lizard. Like, they're just spoiled for choice. To be fair, I don't think I would be like a Pombon person myself. I think that it's a genius pick. I think the balance on the new, like, starters is... Oh my god, that was really scary, bro. I guess I did not consider Venoshock already being highest damage. That was risky. Okay, never punished. Phew. What was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. Well, let me just finish winning here. All right, cool. I think the balance of starters is really genius for Gen 10, because it feels like they really did make one for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at all of the starters that they came up with for Generation 10, I feel like no matter what your kind of preference is, there's something in there for you, which is dope. You know, sometimes I think that every Pokemon, especially when it comes to starters, will have its fans, but, like, some of the gens, I don't feel like they have, like, something that's super attention grabby for everybody. You know? And also, like, I think that the variety is just so good for all three. Like, you know you have a good gen when you got people going to war on Twitter day one for all three of them. That's how you know that you did, in fact, make good designs. Usually always go grass with the Pomeranian's so cute. Man, Pombon is really cute. They're all so cute, dude. I'm normally grass as well. I like water starters a decent amount too. Let me think. Gen to gen, I think I'm mostly grass, right? Gen 1, Bulbasaur's my favorite. Gen 2, I think Chikorita's probably my favorite. I do like Cyndaquil though. I like Totodile too. I like all the starters, man, but I think Chikorita's probably my favorite Gen 2. Gen 3... Gen 3, that's tough. Mudkip or Trico? I love both. I think I probably gravitate slightly towards Trico, but I do like Mudkip a lot too. Gen 4, Turtwig's my son, but I also do love Piplup. Gen 5... Gen 5 is actually the exception. I really like Tepig. I don't think this is a popular opinion, but Tepig is just so fat. I love him. Embor's not like my favorite guy ever, but I do really like Tepig. Gen 6... I'm pretty split between Fennekin and Froakie for Gen 6. I like both. I'm not like insanely strongly opinionated about either. Chespin's kind of cute too. I'm not the biggest Chestnut fan, but you know what? That's probably on similar footing to liking Tepig. So you know what? There's something for everybody. I guess. And then Gen 8. Those Gen 8 starters. That was Scorbunny. Whatever the Sobble and dude, who's the grass one for Gen 8? Grookey. I think I went Grookey, but I don't super love any of the Gen 8 starters, to be completely honest. Oh, I skipped Gen 7. Gen 7, I think I actually probably like Poplio more than Rowlet, but I do love both. I like Litten too, honestly. They're all good. And then Gen 9. I think initially Sprigatito is my favorite, but I do kind of love Crocolore though. I do kind of love Crocolore. Like, Skeledirge is just a big-ass crocodile, and I love that. I love him. like, I don't know. Crocolore is kind of peak design. I shouldn't be dead here, right? I think I can go for an attack. Yeah, it just goes for Thunder Waves. About what I expected. Confuse Ray, that's cringe. I would hit myself. There we go. Should be like Fire Punch. Yep. And now, kill. Boom. I think all the Alola starters are peak. I honestly think Alola is one of the best like starter bunches they ever made. All really, really good designs. And I also think they made all of them become interesting. You know what I mean? Like having Water Fairy, like the only other Water Fairy is Azumarill, and I think Primarina does it very differently in a really good way. Decidueye being Ghost Grass, I think at the time was the only Ghost Grass other than Delmise, which also came out in Gen 7, which is really sick. I think Decidueye is so cool. And Incineroar, I mean, look, people gonna hate that Litten became Incineroar, but Incineroar is a great design, and it has the likable factor or hateable factor depending on how you feel about it of being the best Pokemon of all time in competitive play. So like as a competitive player, I feel like there's like a level of respect you gotta put on the GOAT name when it comes to Incineroar. So he's iconic. Maybe infamous is a better word, but definitely sticks out for me. Decidueye is definitely one of the best final stage starters they've ever made, and I think Primarina is really far up there too. Like they super cooked with both of those designs. Let's see. What do I want to overwrite here? String shots? Probably string shot. Incineroar playing the heal with Intimidate. Like, they really gave Incineroar everything, bro. They gave him Intimidate with one of the best defensive typings ever. Flare Blitz hits really hard. Knockoff does a lot of damage and has the utility of removing items. You could teach him Parting Shot so that he could switch out and lower their stats. You could give him U-Turn as well. He didn't used to have Parting Shot. He used to just be U-Turn. It was still the best. Gets Taunt. Gets Will-O-Wisp if you want to burn stuff. Gets Helping Hand now if you need extra damage on your team from like a utility standpoint. Like, he just has every tool in the box. Like, yo, he really can just do everything. It's kind of messed up. He is Wincineroar. You do gotta just respect it, you know? Although I will be mad if Pombon is bipedal, though. It better be really damn cool. I think the only acceptable option for bipedal is if they make it like the big dog in the armor, like the full body armor from Undertale, because I feel like Pombon is already very like Toby Fox coded. I would totally accept that angle. But I feel like outside of that specific vision, I will be disappointed if it's bipedal. Peeps recently, like, I don't want the final Evos to be bipedal, but there's times they got Aura doing that. That's true. Like, you know what? I do think Incineroar grew on me, but you know what's a cat that I feel like nobody hates on for having gone bipedal? Meowscarada. They nailed that shit. Like, Meowscarada looks cool as hell, bro. I love the way that they designed Meowscarada. I think it was an excellently done, like, grass dark starter. So good. I do think it's funny that out of all of the starters from Gen 9, Skeledirge was the one that didn't go bipedal. You know, you look at like old stuff, you get Charizard, big ass lizard with wings. Typhlosion gets up, just like big standing up fire lizard. We had too many of those. I feel like every fire starter goes bipedal. We just get a big fat ass crocodile on the ground. I love it. I love him. He's so great. His ability's unaware. Like, it's just perfect. He's just, I don't even know if Skeledirge knows that he exists, but I love him. Okay, I was like so like just vibing that I forgot that I was even playing the game, but we've made it to the museum, so like I need the calculator here. Hello, calculator. Let me get the calculator on screen for the people as we do a quick little boss fight for the fans. What am I doing here? What's my line? This is going great. Did I tell you guys this is like a pretty respectable starter box here? We might have a run. We might have stumbled into a run while just kind of yapping about. Okay, Spheel's gonna be pretty good here. Beedrill always goes nuts on this fight. Gotta be Gossifleur for this. How am I beating Frillish? That's a great question. Ooh. I go Black Glasses on Farfetch'd and then pluck into Brutal Swing kills. That's actually really clutch. That's great. And then the Whirlipede. I mean, that could also maybe to its degree be Farfetch'd. But I also could go like Monferno? Maybe. If I start running out of HP, but like, I don't know, isn't a rollout gonna like kind of destroy this guy? He can maybe hit tank like one. he can maybe tank like a rollout. Okay. Exactly -1 brain cells in Dirge Head, I'm saying. Dr. Cade yourself into a fortuitous run. Have I think I've probably mentioned it before. I don't know if you're mentioning Dr. K because I've said that I like Dr. K, but I do actually really like watching Dr. K. So if you just clocked me on that, excellent clock, I have to say. Big fan. Did I pick up the black glasses yet? I don't think so, right? Yeah, I gotta go grab them. April 1st, Wolfie uploads a video titled Best Pokemon of Every Type, and it's just Incineroar with every Terra type. I mean, I don't think he would actually do it, but I do feel like people would eat that bit up. Like, for real, people would love that bit. But I feel like you already... the editors really like to sneak Incineroar's, like, silhouette into random moments in those kind of videos. And then you'll always have the people who will comment, like, Incineroar at whatever timestamp. Like, they're just waiting for it. Which is probably, like, a really good way to, like, subtly generate engagement on the videos. I would have to imagine. Oh god, don't crit me. I will cry. Oh, why did I say it? Why did I say it? That's so unlucky, dude. I have nothing in my box that dodges crit on this. No, this run was so good. Why? No! Come on, bro. That was like the only risky part of the entire fight. Oh, it's only the second one where crit matters too. If it went for wing attack and crit me on the first turn, it didn't matter. It's only getting hit once and then getting crit that matters. I had to dodge one crit exactly. It's okay, you know, I was just thinking that we could use some truck while we were monologuing some more anyway. It's fine. Womp womp. But yeah, I mean, design-wise, I think that so many of the starters, at least in recent years, I feel like they've been getting better at starter designs, you know what I mean? Well, I say that. Generation 8 was kind of weird, though, I can't lie. I do think Grookey is great. I think Rillaboom is a good starter. I like Rillaboom. But, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like none of the starters from Gen 8 I have a particular affinity for. But I do know somebody whose favorite Pokemon was Sobble. I know somebody whose favorite Pokemon was Cinderace. And I'm sure that Rillaboom's got its fans. Like, its stronger fans, too. I would be very surprised if not. It's just, like, an odd one for me specifically. I don't feel a particular affinity to, like, any of the three. I guess if any, probably Rillaboom, but it is a very moderate feeling. You know what really surprised me, though? Rillaboom's been, like, super good competitively, like, basically since it came out. Just, like, always top of the usage. It wasn't top 12 at regionals this weekend. Rillaboom fell off, bro. I can't believe it. To be fair, the reason Rillaboom fell off is because Ogerpon is really good, and I love Ogerpon. Ogerpon is so daughter, so, like, you know what? We love to see this adaptation. However, I was very stunned when it was Shiny messaged me randomly earlier today. He sent me, like, a tweet showing the, like, top 12 statistics from the regionals this weekend. And I was like, this looks normal. Wait a minute, there's no Rillaboom. What happened? I don't feel any particular connection to the Gen 10 starters. Really, I feel like I love all of them. Like I was literally saying earlier, I don't know how I'm gonna pick between the, like, three of them because I love them all. I think I'm probably leaning... I don't know. I was thinking I was leaning Gekwa when it came out. I was about to say I feel like I'm leaning Brout. I don't know. It really, low-key, it's going to depend on the day that I end up playing it. I, honest to God, do think that. Playing them in Unite made me like Gen 8 starter. That's actually pretty valid. Is Rillaboom in Unite? I don't know. Cinderace is cool in Unite. I've played a little bit of Cinderace. I haven't really learned Inteleon, but I think the Snipe Shot mechanics with Inteleon in Unite are really sick. I think their Evos will do it for me. Quaxley was my fave until I saw Meowscarada. That's fair. Quaxley is cute. For a second, I was thinking Quaxley was like the mid-stage one, but that's not it. It's like, what, Quaxwell or something? That's such a good middle stage name for that evolution line, bro. Quaxwell. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with the evolutions for the Gen 10 starters. I can't lie. Very eagerly awaiting to see if they cook. I have to imagine they cooked so hard on the baby forms. I just can't imagine a world where at least one of them doesn't end up being really good. I don't know for certain a couple things. I think Brout has a really funny energy, and there's a few ways they could take it. I hope that whatever way they go with it... I mean, the Brow has to stay involved, right? He's got to stay pissed. But also, can you imagine a timeline where he, like, becomes whimsical instead? That would be really funny, too, now that I think about it. I don't know. I don't know what I want to happen with Brout. There's a couple angles, and I think they're both amusing. Gekwa... In my heart of hearts, I think Gekwa is probably going to end up just being, like, Inteleon, but cooler. However... I think it would be so rad if Gekwa does not become bipedal. Let me get like a grounded, like axolotl, wide-ass water lizard. Oh, I would love that, dude. That would be so rad. Like, we do need an axolotl starter that is like full grown and not just baby. I think that would be so goated. And then Pombon, I don't know. Like I was saying, I could totally see the Toby Fox angle with Pombon where they make it just like big armor suit, like bipedal dog. And I think that would be really fun. If they don't do that, where do they go with it, right? Like realistically, what else are you doing with that Pokemon? I only hope that if they do that, they make it Fire Steel and not Firefighting. We have enough firefighting starters. I hope it won't be a firefighting when they do that. That is all. You know, it actually wouldn't even really... Oh, Fire Fairy? Wait, that would be so cool, dude. I can't... Fire Fairy doesn't even exist yet. I would love that. That'd be so rad. Holy, wait, they should do that. I would love to see that. I feel like it's not even that, like, far-fetched to think of the Toby Fox angle, because Toby Fox, like, literally did music for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I feel like it's easy to forget, but, like, he did just straight up make music for Pokemon. Like, they have the contact. Farfetch'd mentioned. Farfetch'd enjoyers rejoicing right now. Do you think that Farfetch'd is somebody's favorite Pokemon? Do you think there's somebody out there who just really likes Farfetch'd? There's gotta be somebody, right? There's gotta be one person who would just go to bat for Farfetch'd no matter what. But that's what I'm saying. Like, who? What kind of person does it take? Prismatic Laser. That looks scary. What kind of mind state do you have to be? What kind of upbringing does it require to create a far-fetched enjoyer? Prismatic Laser's Necrozma's move? That checks out. I was trying to think where it was from, and I was blanking low-key. I'm pretty sure in this hack, they, like, changed the pool of Metronome's moves to not have any, like, true stinker moves. Like, there's some stuff that's, like, bad 99% of the time. But, like, even the really bad moves in the Metronome pool feel, like, cheeky in some way, in, like, some niche scenario. I don't feel like any of them are, like, truly awful. it's basic, but my favorite is Charmander. Well, Charmander is very iconic. You know what I mean? Like, sure, it might be basic to like Charmander, but like, there's a lot of people that like Charmander. He's just a good Pokemon. If you are a Charmander fan, you also have a lot of stuff to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, Charmander got 2 Mega Evolutions. They're both fire. Sick Gigantamax form. You know, I feel like Game Freak can't get enough of doing stuff that involves Charmander. That's just like their favorite subgenre behind Pikachu. Maybe more so than Pikachu, low-key. Who has more favoritism, do you think? Charmander or Pikachu? Or I guess Charizard is probably more accurate, because I don't feel like they do that much around Charmander specifically, even though, of course, everybody loves Charmander. I think that the overlap of, like, Charmander and Charizard enjoyers is, like, basically 99%. Like, if you love Charmander, you probably love Charizard, and vice versa. You know, there's other things. Like, I think that your average Chespin enjoyer, the split, or like the ratio, probably falls off a little bit between how many people love Chespin and how many people love, like, Chestnut, for example, right? But Charmander, I feel like that's just a guy that people like through and through. Starter Pokemon are just so goated. They're just all so baby. What is your guys' like favorite Pokemon that you think the majority of people dislike? Like your most unpopular hear me out Pokemon that you love? Because I'll share mine. I remember literally in call yesterday with Echo. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. We were talking about like most forgettable Pokemon, and he was like, I don't know, like Stunfisk, and I was like, wait, I love Stunfisk though. Which has to be such an unpopular opinion, I swear. I don't know if there's anybody else I've ever met that likes Stunfisk, but I love him. He's like my favorite little pancake guy. I'm biased because he like had a really clutch moment in one of my first ever Nuzlocke challenges, but I love Stunfisk. He's just so ugly. He's such an icon for me, despite he's just a guy that's like so beautifully terrible. Like here, reflect, please. So much damage, my god. Oh, stop attracting me. There we go. Sobble? I feel like... No, what? I feel like people like Sobble. Everybody was hating on Sobble, I think. Not because of Sobble, but because, what's the middle one? Drizzile? People really didn't like Drizzile, even though I feel like it does what it's supposed to do really well. And Inteleon, I think people were just mad that they made Inteleon, like, so snatched. Low-key, I think people were just not, it wasn't what the people expected. I don't think it was bad, but I think it was not what the people expected. And so there was a little bit of pushback. But I don't think that Sobble's that unpopular. One of my old Pokemon friends' favorite Pokemon was Sobble, and it was like his profile picture on everything, and I thought it was really cute. I don't want to hit this like too hard. Just a little dent. Ouch. Okay, that kills good. Go here. Got the berry. I think I go... I think I'll always kill him with Growlithe now. Boom. Okay. According to Farfetch'd, you found a guy on Reddit who got a tattoo of Farfetch'd? Oh my god, somebody really is everybody's favorite. That's beautiful. What? To love Farfetch'd, you gotta be on a BattleBot team themed as a pecking flamingo. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What is a BattleBot team? Is that like a spin-off game or like a fan game of Pokemon? I like Drizzile. He's the Persona 3 protagonist spirit animal, therefore my Persona 3 spirit animal. Persona 3 is my favorite game. Who is the... Is that where Joker is from? No, it's this guy. Oh my, wait, you're so right. You're so right, dude. I haven't played Persona, admittedly. Joker's Persona 5, yeah. But that is the most, like, accurate comparison ever, dude. I don't know, Drizzile is just, like, so emo. He just gives, like, emo teenager, which, honestly, I think is a really fitting developmental arc for, what's his face? For Sobble to go through. BattleBot. Oh my god, wait, I forgot about BattleBots. Yo. Wait, what? So, okay, let me read this again. Themed as a pecking flamingo. So what, he had like a robot? Did the BattleBot have some sort of like pecking mechanism, like a beak that it would just like spam at its opponent? And they like made it themed around a Farfetch'd or something? Surely this guy must have gotten that Farfetch'd tattoo before Flamigo was a Pokemon, because I feel like Flamigo just invalidates choosing Farfetch'd for this entirely. Let me catch patterns. Always Remoraid, man. Always a Remoraid run. Be so sad if Farfetch'd guy abandons the duck for Flamigo. I feel like he's in too deep. Like, you got a whole tattoo already. It's like, it's too late. You kind of have to roll with it at that point, no? Solid. Okay. Okay. Okay, sure. I'll run it. Oh, damn. Music ran out. Okay. New music. Good thing he has another leg for tattoo. Okay, yeah, so what I'm hearing is that to make things right, to restore balance in the universe, he has to enter another BattleBot team tournament with a duck theme. And then to that one, for that one, he's got to bring... he's got to get the Flamigo tatted for the ducks so that they're even, right? Like an eye for an eye. Dude, BattleBots is such a, like, funny idea to me. I see them every once in a while when I go to conventions. I'll just, like, walk by and they'll have, like a booth for it where they got a screen pulled up showing off, like, people's robots fighting. And I think that's really cool. Older sister painted my childhood room. Oh, that's cool. Let me see. Painted Ledian, Lapras. I love Lapras! Psyduck, and then Pikachu and Clefairy skipping rope. And probably one other I don't remember, so I'm probably Ledian's biggest fan. You know, Ledian is such a sad case, because he's actually a kind of cool guy, I can't lie. Ledian is a kind of cool Pokemon. Worst Pokemon, like, maybe ever. But he is really cool. I feel like Ledian falls into the same trap that, like, most of the best Generation 2 Pokemon fall into, which is, like, cool guy that is just so useless. Like, just terrible. Reminds me of Undertale? This one is Undertale. Your ears are not deceiving you. Ow. Probably a kill here. Boom. I don't have anything that resists this Arrokuda. Whoops. It's fine. What's my speed on this? 27? I probably kill. We'll see. Uh-oh. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I love just having like really niche Pokemon that you just have like an affinity towards. I think it's great. Like, I remember back when I was playing competitively, there was this really funny team that was going around with a couple of my friends. I didn't play it, but I saw a couple of my friends playing it, where there was like a support Dugong that's only attacking move was like Horn Drill or like Sheer Cold or something, where it can like it's only like damaging move was a one-hit KO move. And I think it had Perish Song as well. I think it was like a Perish Trap team. It was really funny just seeing like a bunch of like very try-hard players just like YOLOing random like horn drills off of Dugong. I'm just realizing, is my Monferno still faster than this? Yeah, it is. Okay. I thought I remembered that. Favorite Pokemon of all time is Lucario, but I don't think he's niche enough to count. I think Lucario is really popular. And for good reason, right? Lucario is sick. I feel like Lucario is such a, like, good rep for, like, the Pokemon, like, fighting games. So, like, Pokken Tournament or, like, Smash Bros. I feel like he just makes sense to be the fighting type that you put in those games. He just looks so at home. Such a cool guy. I'm trying to think what other like really niche Pokemon I'm a fan of. I mean, it probably doesn't get more niche than Stunfisk for me, right? I feel like that's such an alt when it comes to liking a really like rare Pokemon. I only have a few plushies, and they're all really, like, normal. I have a Turtwig, I have a Torkoal, I have a Poplio, and I have a Dratini. Those are my babies. The Dratini was really cool. I won the Dratini from a tournament, which was really sick. And it felt really thematic, because I remember I brought, what's it called? I brought my Dragonite to that tournament. I used Dragonite there, and it was really good for me. And I ended up winning a Dratini plushie. So it felt like thematic to the event. It's got so much aura. That's true. He really is just the aura Pokemon. Like, Aura Sphere is like his main move, I feel like. It's not a signature move, but it low-key feels like one. You know what I mean? Like, if you think Aura Sphere, you do think Lucario. Cool, he's blue. Blue's my favorite color. It's a good color. It's a good color to be a favorite. Let's see. Give me this guy. From Monferno. Probably... Rain Dance. We take the pick. Go here. With a Razor Leaf. We'll go here and hit him with another Razor Leaf for the kill. This would be like Sludge, right? Go like here, I guess. Boom. With 3 wishes, what do you wish for? Definitely money. If I had 3 wishes, I think for sure money. Not like an exorbitant amount of money, but enough that I never have to worry about money ever again. Maybe like, I don't know, how high is like enough to never sweat it ever for the rest of your life, but also enough that, like, not so much that you feel pressured for having it, right? I feel like maybe I'd take like, even like $25 million. I don't have to like keep it invested in some sort of like funds or anything. I could just let it sit low-key. Like, because I know like the correct thing to do is you put it in the stock market and you just get like the best return, right? You put in like ETFs or whatever and just take your like 7-8% turnaround on average over a really long period of time. But if you already have that much money and you don't really like need more, right? You don't even have to worry about anything like with the market impacting how you think about your money. You just have the money. Like, you just have so much so you don't care, right? So definitely like many millions. What else would I want to wish for? Maybe I would wish that some of my health issues could be cured so that I wouldn't have to, like, I'd have more time to appreciate the freedom I would have with all of that money. And I guess maybe my third wish, I would wish that my dad lives a really long time. Maybe like 100 or something. Maybe something like that. Or maybe I shouldn't be selfish and use all the wishes on myself. Maybe I should wish to, like, cure world hunger or something like that. That would be probably smarter. That would probably be a better choice. Yeah. Let me revise my wishes, okay? I'll still be greedy and wish for the money. I can probably... but I mean, like, I don't know, bro. I feel like world hunger in a lot of ways is more of like a societal issue than like a quantitative food issue. No, I'm just gonna be greedy. I'm gonna keep my 3 wishes. Is it so much to ask? I don't know. Maybe the world gets nuked by climate change before I can enjoy it. Can make it so America has free healthcare. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm from Canada where we have free healthcare. It's not even that much better, bro. You just wait years for everything. Anything important, you gotta pay private anyway. It doesn't matter. You're just gonna be waiting until it's too late. I'm sorry to break your dreams, bro. I'm really sorry. I don't know, maybe if you go to like Norway or some shit, it'll be a good system. If you get anything like our free healthcare, it's not gonna be that helpful. I'm sure it's a lot better. I will say, like, being able to see your family doctor and stuff like that and not have it just destroy your bank account, I'm sure that's a huge luxury that maybe is hard to come by in the United States. But it is certainly not as glamorous of a system as I think many people would like to hope that it would be, you know. In all honesty, it is not... It's far from perfect. Let's make a more difficult question, though. If you only had one wish, what would you wish for? Also, health issues, I mean, it's nothing that serious. I don't talk about it because, I mean, they're not, like, individually particularly debilitating, right? But, you know, I have psoriasis, which, you know, aside from just being an annoying skin condition, it's known to lower your life expectancy. I have ADHD, among many other mental issues that are also known to significantly lower your lifespan. It's stuff where it's like, I don't know, I'm not like very chronically ill in the immediate moment, which is wonderful. But having so many like smaller conditions, it like adds up. It has an additive effect where it's a lot to deal with like now while I'm young, and I'm sure it'll be a lot more to deal with when I'm older, like 100%. What's up with you, everything? No, that's so real. That is actually such a mood. Oh my god. Bro, I'm going for like a psychological or like a psychiatric evaluation later this year. And I think it's gonna be really funny getting that done, because I don't know, I feel like I collect like mental disorders like Pokemon cards, bro. I got everything under the sun. What you want? Genuinely, I have too much stuff. But also, I don't know, once I get diagnosed for some of that, maybe it'll be easier to deal with some of it. I've been looking into, well, the main one I want to get diagnosed for is ADHD, because I want to try meds, honestly, low-key. This is not medical advice from me. This is just me talking about my own experience. I do want to try medication. I would be lying if I said that I didn't think it would help. because sometimes, like low-key, sometimes you have the motivation, but the brain just does not want to cooperate. And I feel like if I could like just take something that would, I'm not necessarily assuming it'll like make everything go away, but at least like lower that. Like the way that I think about it is that the peaks and valleys for like being able to be productive, and I don't even just mean productive in like a work sense. I mean like, I don't know, showering as often as I probably should be, like cleaning my room, eating well, basic self-care things, right? I feel like the peaks and valleys are so high and low. It would be really nice if my baseline was just like steadier, I guess, right? If instead of building my life on a house of cards, it was like, I don't know, one singular brick. You know, one brick is not that big of a foundation, but like it's a sturdy block at least, right? Like that's gotta be something. Okay, the box is not as good this time, but we did make it back to the museum. Let's open up the calculator and see what I can chef real quick. Let's have a looky here. I think we are doing the YOLO Growlithe strat again, and hopefully we don't get crit for it twice. That would suck. It's like probably Steenie on Tortuga. Black Glasses Deerling for the Frillish, right? Yeah. Yeah, we go like Black Glasses on this. I guess it has to be Monferno for Whirlipede. And then I don't know if I like desperately need a Sackmon. I guess Clauncher is like, I wouldn't be that devastated if Clauncher died. Okay. Let's see. So I need Dottler. And I need Steenie. And I gotta go and teach Clauncher Secret Power as well over Water Sport. Unless, do you have a good hidden power, Clauncher? I didn't look. Bug? Nah, that doesn't really help me. Okay, let's teach Secret Power over Water Sport. So we'll go Orin, Pecha, and I still need to grab the black glasses, I always forget. Actually, you know what? I guess I can fish and see if I get like Quillfish here. Would probably make this really easy. It would be Weasel again, bro. It's always Weasel. Sigh. This guy, dude. I don't know how. This is not a common encounter, but I've gotten Weasel here like every time without fail. It's kind of crazy. I think it's like 4 or 5 runs in a row at this point. It is a better bring for the museum, I will say that. Like a Pecha Berry. Because he gets Sonic Boom, which is kind of cool. Okay, surely. Yeah, the last run, we got kind of scammed. We missed out on a really good run because we got crit, but it's okay. this time around, this Growlithe would never disappoint us like that. Yeah, he doesn't even go for wing attack because this one's plus defense. Go here. And confusion. Ow. Confuse me again, dude. Nice. Very clutch. Okay, gonna be dodging like ancient power boosts, I think. I do get crit immediately. That's pretty rough. No boost though, at least. I'm not dead if I don't get crit again, so I'll stay in. I crit back, doesn't really matter. Do I get crit? Oh, Brian. That shouldn't kill, right? I don't think. Close. I am dead to Aqua Jet now, which is gonna be forced to go for because I'm faster. So we gotta go Deerling and tank 2 Aqua Jets on that, which is hopefully inconsequential. I think we should have the leeway for that, but we'll see. And go for Bite. Oh, big flinch. Okay, now we gotta switch. How much does Weasel take on the switch in? I didn't put it in the calculator yet. Let's have a looky here. Oh, too much. Too much. It does 21 damage. Ouch. So I'm just gonna be dead to another one. So what do I do here then? Actually, that's a great question. What? I took way more damage than I thought I was going to. I guess I gotta go like Monferno, right? I don't really have anything else with HP. I might be wiping here. Just get lucky. Paralysis? Good. Okay, I do get poison. That's really bad. It's like if Venoshock hits through, I'm dead. How am I even beating Whirlipede at this point without like crazy good luck? I don't know. I don't think I am. Truthfully, I don't think I am beating Whirlipede without really good luck. I'm not even getting to Whirlipede without really good luck. I need to fraud. I really do need a bit of a fraudulent sequence here, but we'll see. Okay, big paralysis. Here, Razor Leaf, they Water Pulse, Razor Leaf, okay. Whirlipede in. So this is never... Okay, well here's the thing, I'm poisoned now, so like Venoshock is gonna always be dealing enough that I'm cooked, I think. I need this to be like 2 hits Pin Missile or something, right? I guess I could go for like an Intimidate maybe, and maybe I can like fraud it somehow under that lens. Like I'm just gonna be baiting Venoshock kill, right? With this being poisoned. I don't know how I'm gonna steer this. How am I ever steering this? Well, I think I gotta go Monferno. Poison Tail, that's bad. Venoshock only kills me like half the time. Maybe he'll go for rollout. Or maybe I'll paralyze him and he'll get fully paralyzed. Wait. Pause. Oh god. I'm dead. Yeah, to the poison. Okay, that's a reset. Losing monkeys. No dice. I got probably time for one more run before I go to sleep, I guess. We're having a little bit of a rough time with the museum again today, but that's alright. It'd be like that sometimes. Here's a interesting hypothetical for you guys, since we've had a couple of those tonight. If you could be somebody else for one day, who would you be and why? There are a lot of ideas I could think of. I think one of the most interesting ones to me is I'd love to pick somebody who's like a really good singer and then see how different, like how much of the gap between me and them is technique. Like, imagine I get dropped into like Suisei's body or something, and I can like, I have Suisei's voice for like a day. How good or bad would that sound in my hands? Like, how much of it is just the difference between my voice and like somebody like that's voice versus how the voice is being used? You're a great singer. I appreciate that a lot. I'm not very classically trained as a singer. Well, actually, I'm not at all classically trained as a singer. I'm fully self-taught. I've started taking some lessons every once in a while, but I think music, like many creative endeavors, is one of those things where the better you get, the more you realize just how much you still have to improve, right? I mean, that's the beauty of just learning stuff in general, right? Is that the more you get into something, the more you realize that you've like just scratched the surface and there's all sorts of stuff you'd love to get better at doing. And I think that music would definitely be one of those things. And I also feel like, I don't know, the voice is like one of the most tangible ways that you could experience something in like a day with somebody else, right? I feel like that'd be really cool. Oh, that's trash. Wow. What about the rest? What's the rest of this from? Ponytail? Nah. No Umapue. So many deerling runs today. It's kind of cool. I don't know. On the other hand, would I rather be my Oshi for a day, or would I want to be like, what if you were in the unique position to experience just like supporting somebody that you really admire? Like, what if you like became a manager for like a day? Okay, honestly though, I feel like being a VTuber manager seems kind of sick, I can't lie. I have one of my friends that's like thinking about trying to get into being a VTuber manager, which I think he'd be great at, because I think low-key he's been doing it just out of hobby for like many years. But he's like really good with like a lot of administrative work. And he also knows VTuber stuff really well. Like, I've always thought about it. Sometimes I think about if there's ever a pipeline where maybe I don't end up as Twi being like wildly successful or anything, but I end up becoming like a VTuber manager somewhere. But I think I lack the academic background that I would probably have necessitated to do that. But conceptually, very fun though, as an idea. The body of one of my favorite character designers for a day while conveniently during the development of a game they're doing? That's a cool answer. Imagine how much unreleased stuff you could probably find. Isn't that a, like, sick idea? Like, you would get to see a side of their work that they probably would deem as, like, not good enough. Which is very interesting. Let's run I'd like to see what I get on Route 104 for this run, I think. That's a really insanely goated low-tad. Pretty solid. Gossifleur. Playable Bunnelby. Playable Starly. I don't know if this run has the juice, but I'd like to see if it might. I'd like to humor it. Masahiro Sakurai. Oh man, Sakurai is a crazy pull. That's a crazy idea, but I like the way that you're thinking though. Man, game developer or like game designer is an interesting idea for sure. I guess, yeah, you could pick like an artist that you really like. Okay, you know what? Actually, wait, I'm just realizing maybe the hidden like cool part about choosing a music artist that I really like Suisse or something, isn't just that I could experience like their voice, but also maybe I'd be able to see unreleased stuff, like stuff that's upcoming or stuff that never got released or whatever. Yo, that could be kind of sick. That could be kind of epic. That's an idea right there. Fusion Bolt, critical hit. Thank God it's off of a Swirlix. Bonk. Spore, okay. Strength Sap, that's pretty annoying actually. Accelerock, sure. Psychic Fangs, sure. Growth, that's a little scary. Charm, that doesn't matter. Still kill. Boom. So much stuff in production you never see unless they have a camera rolling and people are working on whatever. That is true. I guess for like stuff actively in production, there's a lot of stuff that'll just be lost to time. I mean, you know, if even somebody like me has some unreleased projects, imagine what the greats have hidden beneath their sort of, like, I guess just under the hood. Ekans, that's pretty trash, I can't lie. I could maybe play this run though. I mean, there's some stuff that I feel like is kind of worth trying for. And there's some other stuff that's kind of not, but this might be like just good enough to consider it. Okay. Okay, fine. Hello, Plum. No bug is a bit concerning, but I'll see what I can do, see what I can cook. I guess maybe... On the other hand, imagine how stressful it must be if you're, like, being... basically, like, skinwalking as somebody who's, like, really big and important during, like, the production of something. I feel like the pressure would just kill me, low-key. To, like, not mess something up. Like, I don't know. Like, you'd be, like, so out of place. But it's a very fun idea. On the other hand, imagine it's some, like, your name type scenario, right? What do you think that the person you swap with would be getting up to in your day-to-day life? Like, I'm just imagining how funny do you think it would be if some, like, massive, huge corporate VTuber streamer who's been pro for so long gets spawned to just be, like, some boy in his room as, like, a very small indie VTuber. Do you guys think you would notice if some random corpo VTuber took over my voice for a day? Do you think you would be able to figure it out? If they sounded exactly like me in voice, maybe their accent could come through, maybe the intonation or like the word choice isn't me. Do you think I'm distinctive enough as a person that you would notice? Or I get, well, you'd probably notice, but I guess the question is, how long do you think it would take you to notice that something felt weird? And would it ever be more than just like a gut feeling? Think you would leave and be like, there was something weird about Twi's stream today? Or do you think you would be just sitting there like midstream like, no, he would never say that. Something's wrong. I wonder. Oh, big flame body. Got him. I would. I think I could know it's not you easily. Be sitting for a minute though, but not say it directly. Twi's a bit different today. Interesting, interesting. I mean, honestly, low-key, I think a really funny thought experiment could be if I did a stream where the gimmick was that I would be using no microphone. Or, okay, here's the idea. It's 2 Twi streams. Both of them, no microphone. One of them is me. The other one is somebody with my model. And you have to figure out which one of them was actually me and which one was like one of my friends. That would be a funny idea. I wonder if vision, because I don't feel like I go out of my way to do like model acting that much, you know what I mean? There's times where I do stuff that's expressive, but it's certainly not like a huge element, I don't think. So conceptually, it would be kind of funny to see how much it would come through. Sounds like I would call that a social experiment, I think, yeah. Dude, this isn't gonna kill, is it? Yeah. Huh. I do live another one, but it's probably... Oh, Mach Punch should be arranged from here. I guess knowing it's Poison Fang, I go here. Then on like -1 bite, I go into Chimchar. Oh my god, it was Water Pulse. I threw. Oh, okay. Wait, I can bait a Water Pulse or an Aqua Jet for this, and now Live the poison fang because -1. Okay, boom. I'm a genius. Alright, solved. Back to here. I don't know, go for like wrap. Get some chip damage down. Go here. Oh, it's faster than me. Love it. I guess I just go straight in. I need to fraud this guy. Fraud him. Oh my god, the flinches. Oh no, 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 he got it. No, he got the berry. I mean, there's nothing I can do, right? I need the flinch. Nope. It's okay. It was kind of a bad run anyway. Get a better one. That'd be interesting. I was thinking about it mostly because there was a night a little while ago where I was drinking with some friends. And I ended up giving my model to somebody. There's exactly one other person out there in the world right now with the Twi model. And it was really funny. I think part of it was because they were also drunk, and I think that affects just the way that you are. But they were like definitely more emotive of my model than me, and like they were like doing different expressions that I wouldn't normally use and stuff like that. I thought it was really funny. It was kind of endearing. It was also just funny from the perspective of like seeing them like look at stuff in my model and just being like, oh my god, I've never seen you use this before. Like I remember they saw my like angry toggle and they were like, oh my god, I've never seen you use this before. And I was like, that's true. I feel like I don't like hardly ever use my angry toggle. Or like a lot of my toggles I very sparsely use for thumbnail stuff. Oh my god, bro. 1 HP, 1 defense, 1 special defense, minus special defense. It's fine. Whatever, I'll use it. Sure. Show us the angry toggle. Alright, alright. You wanna see me? You're not gonna like me when I'm angry. You're not gonna like no more Mr. Nice Twi, huh? Huh? I do use this one occasionally, not often, but I also have the sad face. Not angry. That's. I think that the angry one looks pretty angry. I don't know. Like, look at the mouth shape when I talk. Like, I think personally, you can see the seed in the shape of my mouth right now. There's some vitriol in those eyes. I think that's a pretty angry face. I can't lie. I also have the smug toggle. Little :3. Ooh, I remember they accidentally clicked. I have a really scary toggle. This is a jump scare warning. Are you guys ready for like summoning Herobrine? Summoning Hero Twine. Check this out. Let me put the eyes back. I remember they pressed that and then they got lost trying to figure out how to turn it off. It was so funny seeing somebody else use my model. I've never done that before. It was really silly. It was so unserious. feel like it'll be a very interesting experience if I ever end up using somebody else's model. Because, like, actually, even just in terms of, like, free models, I don't think I've ever used a model other than Twi, like, straight up. I had a PNG at one point, but that's it. Like, I never had, like, a proper VTuber model before this one. Can I say I'm loyal? I don't know. On the one hand, maybe it would have been better if I started on like a free model, because I did dump like a ton of money on this model. But on the other hand, I think that it's cool that there was a time in my life where I was so motivated towards like being able to do VTubing that I was able to work a full-time job for a year and a half. Like, that is generational for my standards, okay? But at the same time, I also feel like I had like no energy for anything outside of work when I was doing that. Like, even that's like the thing that always surprises me is when like some of my VTuber friends are so capable of like having creative hobbies and like doing a lot of stuff on their own, despite having like full-time job or school, or God forbid both. Like, it's so impressive to me, because like on everything, bro, when I was working full-time, I was such a zombie. I was like such a hole of a person. And to be fair, that might have just been because it was retail. You know, maybe if you have like a real nice, like, normal job, it wouldn't be so bad. But truthfully, like, I don't know. It was very... I feel like same thing with school. Like, I got really into streaming in, like, the downtime of being at school. And then when I went back to school for a bit, I was, like, so bad at doing anything stream-related until I left again. The workaholic gene, man. It's a blessing and a curse, but sometimes I wish I had it. Instead, I have the gene that makes you play Pokemon for like 50 hours a week, 1 week. Then you play rhythm game for that long the next week. It's like, I don't know, you have a roulette wheel of unproductive tasks, plus like, I don't know, maybe one in like every 8 weeks, you hit like something work adjacent, and you're like, holy shit, I did so much. I wasn't paying attention, and I just named my Salandit Ham. Okay. So much for the fruits and vegetables. We also have 2 hams until I trade Ham for Hamilton. That's really funny. Actually, wait. I don't even have a reason to play this run out. I 100% lose to Brawly. I pulled nothing that can beat Brawly. Okay, it's fine. Calculated reset. I made the nickname so that I would snap out of my flow state and get back into the flow state of gambling. Hard at work gaming, man. I mean, it... Sadly true. Low-key. I'm such a grinder when it comes to video games for no reason. Maybe the reason is ego. I guess it is ego, but like, I don't know. I always have energy for games somehow. When I have energy for nothing else, I find the energy for games. Which maybe is a blessing, maybe is a curse. I really like that it makes it very easy for me to be available to other people. You know, when anybody else is kind of in like the lull between doing stuff and they need to like have a bit of a respite, I suppose, I can just be there and be like, yeah, I'll game. What's up? Like, let's play something. What do you want to play? I'm just there, and I get to experience a lot of moments through that. On the flip side, I think the fact that a lot of the time I make myself so available because I have such a hard time like getting my own sort of flow for work going. You're like even more keenly aware of that when you're kind of like everybody else's break, I suppose. Sun acquired? Oh my god, wait, good sun as well? Okay, we gotta play this run, hold on. Lock in. Give me Growlithe. It would be Umapyoi, okay, fine. That's fine. Give me... Can I have Gossifleur? No, it would be eggs. It would be eggs as well. Just give me hope to take it away. Hold on, let me think. Might still be doable. We'll try. Do it for the child. Do it for the baby. There's probably some sort of like fraud line I can take, even if I don't have anything actually good. And I love fraudulent lines. That's just like gambling with extra steps. It's like gambling under the guise of strategy. I mean, honestly, is that not just what roguelikes are as a genre? If you really think about it, roguelikes are just like gambling disguised as strategy games. Because no matter how good you get, usually it's impossible to have a 100% win rate. No matter what. Maybe with perfect information, but that's the thing, right? You don't have perfect information. There's always something in practice that just never... is just so like unlikely, it's so unforeseeable, you're not gonna play around it and it'll get you. That's part of the fun of it as a genre, I feel like, low-key. But some people are like just unfathomably good. Like I remember with Balatro, there is a guy who got the achievement for beating every single deck of the game with every single joker in the game on the highest difficulty and he did it all on a continuous win streak. He didn't lose a single game in the entire front to back playthrough of winning with every card on every deck on the highest difficulty, which is like, as somebody who's actually done that, like, not on a win streak, but just normally, that's so hard. That's actually so ridiculous. Dude, like, I don't even know how that's even possible. That's so ridiculous. Yeah, he literally... I'm trying to remember. He might have started where you already have Gold Stake unlocked for all of the decks. I think he might have done that. I don't remember. But, like, I'm pretty sure his win streak was somewhere approaching 100 runs in a row. Which is, like, nuts. That's so nuts. I cannot even imagine that. My best win streak on Gold Stake is, like, 4 or something like that. Having, like, 80 or something is actually just so unfathomably nuts, dude. Slay the Spire? Slay the Spire is always cool looking too. I never got into it myself. I want to play Slay the Spire 2 if it ever goes on a good sale. I'm keeping an eye out for that one. I know Taro wanted to do it together, and then we were both like, maybe, I was like, if it goes on sale, because it's kind of expensive, and he was like, yeah, me too. I gotta wait until it's on sale. So, I think I put it on my wish list, but you guys gotta poke me about it in case I forget. Because for spring sale, I really didn't get much of anything. I got, oh, right, I got, dude, I totally forgot that I picked up Tabletop Sim. We gotta do Tabletop Sim next week. I gotta figure out how to do that. Tabletop, yeah! Low-key, if you don't have your schedule for next week planned, if you're even doing a schedule, do you want to collab Tabletop, Nahi? I could probably just do it as community night if not. But it'd be fun. Or we could just play off stream sometime. Let me see. Let's do this. Boop. 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 Down, let's go. It's gonna be so. I was gonna say I can't even remember the last time I've like asked somebody to collab. Then I was like, wait, my birthday just happened. I guess for one-on-one collabs, I kind of impromptu had Echo on call yesterday, but I don't know. It's been a long while since I've done a collab. That'll be fun. I'm reminded of Tabletop Sim. Yes, I have acquired recently. I mean, it feels kind of necessitative at this point, you know, with how many board game night streams I've done. It does feel like something I really just should have, you know what I mean? Dude, I'm getting sauced by this Fampy. He is packing my bags. Stop. There we go. Okay. Oh my god, wait, I just realized. Ha ha ha. I only have eggplants. How am I beating this stupid Carvana, bro? Am I losing to the damn grunt here on the run with Nahi's son? He has so much potential. He deserves to go so much farther. I mean, I guess we just gotta dodge the crit. Or, well, the crit and the flinch. If I get crit, I live half the time. And then it's like, I don't know, Petra Berry on these two, Cherry Berry on this, and this. Okay, we just get lucky. That's all we do. We just get lucky, and if not, we go to bed. It seems like a good strat. Maybe Maybe not right away, but start getting ready for bed. Alright, eggplants. Is it bedtime or is it gaming time? It's gaming time. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Show me 3 hits of bullet seed right now. Show me 3 hits. Oh, you're so bad, eggplant. You suck. You're actually terrible. Okay, it's fine. I'll still win. Don't worry. They're gonna bite. We hit him with a mock punch. Bang. Get out of here, Carvana. This guy's in. We're gonna rock a little mud slap action. Just a little baby iota of chip damage. And then your son's gotta clutch it up here a little bit. I think he's got it. Oh, he missed the kill. Oh, your son, dude. Look at my son, dog. I'm going to jail. Is this dead to mock punch? That's gotta be dead to mock punch. Come on. Okay, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. Back on track. Your son did good enough. He's passing with like a C. It's not a fail. Look, I would never hold your son back from moving on to the next grade. Don't worry. He's a gifted kid. He just needs a little help sometimes. Let's see what we pick up in Dewford Town. Pansham. It's always a Pansham, bro. Honestly, this is kind of good for early game, though. I do kind of need this guy. Something I never realized that's actually really cool about Pansham, like one fight that it's got some nice utility for, pretty much, is when you are dealing with the Frillish in the like museum fight. One of the difficult aspects about it is it's pretty tanky, it's got recover, and it has the cursed body ability, which means 1 in 3 times that you hit it with like a contacting damage move, it'll disable that move. So if you can 2-shot it with like just Razor Leaf or something, for example, and Razor Leaf gets disabled, then suddenly you're cooked, because you can't use that anymore, right? And now it just walls you and it can heal with recover. But Pansham is one of the few Pokemon with the ability Mold Breaker, which just means that it ignores all other abilities. So you don't even have to worry about that. It 2-shots it with a dark move and you just roll out and you're chilling. It's actually kind of neat, I can't lie. For the most part, the other fighting types tend to have more good fights than Pansham, but for this early game where it's kind of dubious, he does lock in on a couple tricky early fights, which is nice. Oh, but this one's not Mold Breaker, though. It's Iron Fist, which means that I don't get the exact advantage I was just talking about. And instead, I'm just gonna have to probably YOLO it. That's wonderful. Alright, that's great. Perfect. Minus speed, relax with no special attack. That's terrible. And 1 special attack. I just go to bed, bro, low-key. This one sucks. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe it can probably win some fights. Like, what am I looking forward to with this box, bro? Like, on everything, this box is so unexciting. My son lived a good life. You know, this is me choosing a good ending. Instead of YOLOing your son at the gym leader and probably having him die, we could just say, because the thing is, your son is actually one of the best parts about this box. The problem is that your son kind of sucks for like 3 splits, and then he's insane, like S tier. But until then, really, really slow to get online, and the rest of my stuff is just not that good early. I can't lie. I have too much stuff that's like kind of mid and doesn't scale well. It just feels bad. The sun go out with glory. He did sort of clutch up in that boss fight. Isn't that like a big up? Because he's not helping in the next boss fight. And if I bring him against Brawly, he's probably dying to Brawly. I'm gonna be so for real. If he comes to Brawly, it's probably the last time he's leaving the box. It's bad. You need an insanely good Corvus Squire to have it do anything on Brawly and not just die. I mean, this one's really tanky. Like, maybe. It'd be risky. It would probably be... I think I wouldn't do it because I think Dottler would have safer lines. But, this Dottler is also really bad. Like, I don't know, it would just be... Basically, we would have a run with very little to look forward to other than hoping that on the later encounters we get something really good, right? That's kind of what it would boil down to. I'm kind of tired, honestly. I think I'm down to just say that this run's not meant to be. Strawberry, you will have a different run where it'll be your run. It's just not meant to be this one time, but don't worry. The reunion run, we're gonna get Starly and Rookedy again, and if they won't die immediately, surely it'll go better than last time that happened. We'll have the boys in daycare. But, I'm sure it won't be too long until I stream this game again. I gotta figure out, I'll try to be scheduled next week. That being said, I'm actually not going to be able to stream on Tuesday. It's kind of okay, because we haven't done a formatted Unemployed Tuesday in a while, low-key. It'll be back, I promise. I just haven't felt like editing, and it made it a lot less important to do them when I wasn't making shorts. But, but I'm gonna be very belated celebrating my birthday with some of my family on Tuesday, so... It might be until Wednesday until you get another Twi stream, but probably like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. I'll put everything up in the Discord, and I'll try to remember YouTube posts and Twitter and all of that. I'll try. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Very impromptu, very late at night. I appreciate you guys. Yes, exactly. The Twi birthday. It's my birthday month still, you guys. Don't forget to wish me a happy birthday month. Don't forget to keep wishing me a happy belated. It's my birthday month, guys. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, or maybe rest of your day, depending what time zone you're in, but probably rest of your night. And I'll see you probably around the Discord and then on Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Bye. Good night.